Ekurhuleni residents who are embroiled in a battle with the Metro over what is described as irregularities over a new property valuation that was conducted by the city of Ekurhuleni, coming into effect on the 1st of July, that evaluation rule. Let's speak now to the MMC for Finance in Ekurhuleni, Graham Gersbach. MMC, good evening, and thank you very much for your time and allowing us this opportunity to put some of these questions around the objections that have been lodged. Let's talk then about where the process is. In December, 47,000 objections were received by the city. How far are those objections today?
Okay, firstly, the objections came in on the 18th of June, in actual fact. And of the 47,000 objections, 4,334 were duplicates, and of the remainder, 3,165 are subject to review by the Billings Department, and 429 objections do not have an outcome as yet. Of those that do have outcomes, we have proof that the valuer has posted those objections through the South African Post Office, and also that they were to have been sent by email, but we've been told that most of the email addresses bounced, which is a little bit surprising because I would imagine most people get their email addresses correct. Firstly, the multi-party coalition acknowledges that the process of the valuation roll, which was initiated under the previous administration, has caused significant frustration and inconvenience to ratepayers across Ekurhuleni. However, we are working on plans to resolve the issues related to the general valuation, and we have started with these. We're committed to reinvigorating a culture of accountability, transparency and good governance in the city of Ekurhuleni. What also must be noted is many of the notices, Section 49 notices that went out to property owners were actually found dumped in the fields around Ekurhuleni. And our councillors, through our leader of the various caucuses, brought this to the attention of the city. And those were, supposedly those areas were reprinted and redelivered, but we still have instances of people saying they never got their notices. So that is a major problem.
Have you engaged civil society groups that are raising these issues? For example, Bedford View Residents Action Group. Have they said you're flatly ignoring them? In fact, they've been trying to get in with the city manager, with the previous administration.
Okay, I will give you a few instances. In Bedford View, there's a group known as the Residents Action Group.
Yes.
I have met with the leadership of that action group, and I have met with attorneys representing that group. And we've discussed the issues at length. The other thing is our councillor for the coalition, the ward councillor in Bedford View, Jill Humphreys, has a substantial following on various WhatsApp groups and on a Facebook group called basically Bedford View, where she's in constant communication with residents. So there has been communication. The difficulty we had was, as a coalition, we had to reach consensus on the approach to this issue. And I think for every 10 people you speak to, you can get 20 views of how to approach this. And so we have reached consensus over this part.
So what is the consensus? I mean, the issue here is that property values were increased exorbitantly. Do you agree with that case that people are raising?
Well, there's a mixed bag. There were some that were increased exorbitantly. There are other instances where properties were undervalued substantially, and there are a few instances that we know of where the values were reduced to zero. Somehow they did not value them, and on the rates roll, they came out to 0. So all of those are being addressed through the officials,
Right.
and we are trying to get solutions on each one of those. What we have encouraged residents to do is where they've got their objection outcomes to actually write to specific email addresses, which we've brought to their attention, in order to get the results of their outcomes and the reasoning behind their outcomes. In those cases where they haven't got their results, we've encouraged them to email those addresses to ask what has actually happened, because they should have received them.
All right.
So that is where we started. I have engaged with the MEC for COGTA because they appoint the Valuations Appeals Board, and I've asked him that he must let me know whether they have in actual fact gazetted that appeals board, and when we can meet with the leadership, with himself and with the appeals board or the chair of the appeals board, to raise our particular concerns as an administration.
All right.
Because we feel there are issues we have to raise. Now, that is, I haven't had a reply, so the mayor is following up that communication, and that has either gone out now or will be going out very shortly over the next couple of days.
All right, MMC, we will then, of course, touch base with you as soon as you get that response then from the MEC's office. But thank you very much for coming on and bringing some clarity to this matter as far as where the process is right now. We do appreciate your time.